Way Tarinimi, and you are welcome to Radio Biafra, Voice of the Coast. For a while now, we have been trying to give us this message to teach about this topic that I will be teaching about today. Um, Many times over, there has been challenges either with our network or with the system that we are operating with. But today we shall be handling the topic, the all talked about topic, which I titled Pepper and Gas. Today we shall be handling it. And I want each and every one of us to pay attention so that we will be able to have a proper understanding, because this topic is very, very important. This topic is very important. So before we move on, we must pray. We must pray and commit everything that we do to the hands of Elohim, to the hands and control of Tamara, the one that is the leader of this movement, the one that called our leader and called each and every one of us to this great work that we are doing, the one that chose to save our people even before we were born. Al Gonomo Kirimotemedao, Wo Yengin and away. We are here once again to worship you because this is Radio Biafra, your holy platform that you have separated for this time to disseminate information of truth and conscience to this world. We pray that you continue to help us in our weakness, in our infirmities, that you be our guide, be our light where we cannot see, be our strength when we are weak, be our bullets when our guns are empty. Tamara, on this day I pray for our leader Mazen Amdekano where he is, that he will be strong and continually be strong. And I pray for all of our people everywhere, every part of the world, all lovers of freedom, that they remain resolute, focused, and resilient in their various duties as you have ascribed to them. Let our people not be given to unnecessary desires. Let our people not be given to unnecessary passion, but that which everyone should be engaged in, which is the passion and the desire to restore Biafra. And let all those bad eggs be fished out from time to time. Let this holy movement be sanitized at every given point in time, that at the end of the day, your name alone will be exalted, that your name alone will be praised, that all men all over the world shall know that you have called us to this great work. Tamara Woyengi, we call upon you to discipline the offenders, all those that carry the Biafran blood, but because of money they want to worship their oppressors. Because of favors, because of one thing or the other, they want to worship their oppressors and put each and every one of us at risk of danger. Those that peddle all sorts of lies just to ensure that Biafra do not move forward. Those that allow themselves to be paid and to be bribed so that they will stand in the way of this holy movement. For as the water washes away everything that is placed before it, let them all be washed away, and let this movement proceed, and let the children of the Most High see your redemption. Let your salvation be presented before all men, that the whole world will know that you are God and there is no one beside you. And the whole world will know that it is you that we worship and no other. You see, you see, you see, more power. Today we shall be talking about a topic, like I told you earlier, which I titled Pepe and Gas. And this is Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast, in case you're just joining us. My name is Kumowe Tarinemi. I am your host. This is Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. In case you're just joining us, please try to share to your friends, to share to your family members. Tell them about this program so that you will not be the only one that knows what you should do at a particular time in this movement. So, our topic today says Pepe and gas. What is the relationship between Pepe and gas? That were able to listen to the short clip that I gave the other day, but I will still go over again because Pepe, the Pepe I'm talking about is the normal peppers that you buy, you stock your house. Is the Pepe I'm talking about. The gas I'm talking about is the same gas you've also known. I'm not talking about the cooking gas, of course. I'm talking cooking gas inclusive, of course, cooking gas inclusive. I'm talking about the same gas that is gotten alongside products, alongside crude oil, the oil and gas that is talked about, which the zoo only puts efforts on oil and fled the gas away. We shall get to that. Pepe was known as black gold in ancient times. In ancient Europe, to ancient Europeans, the pepper that you use in cooking, your normal pepper, was known as black gold. So crude oil today is called black gold. Pepper was also once called black gold. As at that time, crude oil wasn't black gold. Pepper was the black gold. Crude oil became black gold after the machines were invented. And it was discovered that the machines needed oil, which will be refined from crude oil, diesel, petrol, and all of that. All being refined from crude oil. So then crude oil became the black gold. Or rather, the oil and the gas became the black gold. Pepper was known as black gold. Why was it known as black gold in ancient Europe? Pepper is not being produced in Europe. Western Europe, to be precise. Pepper is not being produced. You can plant pepper and it will grow in Western Europe. Though I don't know how the technology has developed over time, whether they have found a way to do that. But in ancient times, it wasn't possible, whether it was because of their weather or their terrain, can't really tell. But ancient Western Europeans couldn't grow pepper in their continent. So pepper was gotten from Asia. Pepper was gotten from India. The Indians would sell the pepper. Sometimes they sell it directly to the Europeans, or they will sell it to the Arabs that will now sell it to the Europeans. And that was how Europe was getting their pepper. So you can imagine when a whole continent did not have pepper. And you know, pepper is very important, not just for cooking, but for many other things. So they couldn't get pepper that easily. And not every European had access to that route whereby pepper could be gotten. You know, Rome, Rome ruled Europe for a very, very long time. So Rome had all the access, they had control of all the routes. In ancient times, the Roman general that became the Roman emperor or dictator, rather, because it was his descendants that became emperor, Julius Caesar, he used to trade in pepper. He used to buy pepper in gold. Julius Caesar used to buy pepper in gold. He will give gold to the Indians and they will give him back pepper, which he will now come and sell to the rest of the Roman Empire, which is actually the rest of Europe today. So Julius Caesar was in that business. And the ancient Greeks, which are also Europeans, they used to use pepper as a medical agent. And they used to use it as an antidote for a particular poison called hemlock. Pepper was very, very important. You can imagine pepper was medicine or something that is being used to make medicine. Pepper was an antidote to poison. So it's medicine. Pepper was medicine. So pepper wasn't just a spice for food to Europe. So it was too important, but they did not have it. I am explaining this so that we are going to understand. We are going to have a clear-cut understanding of the ancient times and today. I may not finish this topic today. If I do not finish it today, we are going to continue tomorrow. We'll continue until we are done with this topic. I want each and every Biafran to have a clear-cut understanding of what is going on in the world right now and how it affects the past and how it affects history and what must be our mindset today. Biafrans must understand. You know, one thing with Biafrans is that we move by understanding. We move by understanding. So it is very important that everyone is carried along. Very, very important that everyone is carried along. So we proceed. Pepper wasn't just a spice for food. Pepper was a medical agent. Pepper was a poison antidote. So if you have pepper, or if you had pepper in ancient Europe, you're a rich man. Very, very rich and powerful. Very, very rich. So in England, in ancient England, one could pay his house rent. One could pay his house rent. I am explaining this to you so that you will know how important pepper used to be to Europe. In ancient England, one could pay his house rent with peppercorns. Peppercorns, just as cowries used to be for our people, pepper was also like a currency in England. Peppercorns. They would dry it. They would dry the peppercorns. When it is dried, it can be used to pay house rent. Not for everything. It wasn't used as currency for everything, but mostly for house rent. Someone can use peppercorns to pay. It was considered black gold. Very, very important. Peppercorns are those seeds, the seeds of pepper. When you cut pepper, you see some seeds. Those seeds, when they are dried up, those are the things that are being used to pay house rent. Or maybe something like alligator pepper, those seeds in alligator pepper. It was highly sought after in Europe. And the people that had control of this trade were the Romans. The Arabs would buy the pepper from India. The Arabs were like the middlemen, just as the coastal Biafrans were the middlemen in the Biafran trade, in the Biafran economy. The coastal Biafrans, the Izon, the Calabar, sometimes even the Bini people were also in that trade. Okay? But most of the times, because they are very, very close to the zone, in the water, they used to get it. And also the Sekiri. The Sekiri people, they were also in that trade, like what the Arab merchants were doing. Go to the hinterland, get most of the goods, come to the coast and sell it to the Europeans at the shores. So the Arabs were buying the pepper from India and selling it to the Romans. The people that had control of this trade in Europe were the Romans. The Romans colonized this control even after losing power as even after losing power of the Roman Empire. They still had control of the trade. After all, they've been in that business for many years. The Romans controlled the trade at the Mediterranean Sea, at the gateway to Asia, which is Constantinople. Constantinople was considered the gateway to Asia. Constantinople was the capital of Turkey, the country we call Turkey today. Constantinople, it was the gateway to Asia, and Constantinople was under the control of Rome. The Roman traders controlled Constantinople, controlled the trade in Constantinople. So the Romans were the ones in charge, and the Romans monopolized this trade. They monopolized the trade of pepper. So pepper became very expensive in Europe. pepper became very, very expensive. For you to be able to buy pepper and have pepper, then you really know what you have gone through. Other Europeans tried to get into the trade, but it was practically impossible. The Romans had already colonized the trade and monopolized the trade. Sorry, I keep using the word colonized. They already monopolized the trade and they wouldn't let any other people get involved. And they sold it at exorbitant prices. So it was difficult for other Europeans. And it was a problem. It made them poor because no matter what they get from other sources, they will all spend it on pepper because they had no other means of getting pepper apart from what the Romans had to offer through the Arabs. So if the Arabs increase the price, the Romans will increase the price, and the rest of Europe will have to pay. So the rest of Europe decided, they told themselves that we must find a way to get pepper for ourselves. We must break through and get pepper. We must find a way to go to India. We must get to India and find our own path. The Romans have monopolized this trade and they have cheated us enough. We have to find our own routes to India. And they knew that they cannot use the same routes of the Constantinople that Romans had control over. It was impossible. They cannot go through other Arab areas because the Arabs only used to deal with Rome. For them to go through any Arab country, it will have to be bloody war, which they would not win. They were sure they would not win. The Arab nations were very strong. They didn't have the capability or the resources to combat all of them to get to India by themselves. So the only option was to go through the sea, through the open sea, because when they studied the map, they knew where Africa was. They knew that, okay, India or Asia is to the east, and they are the west. So, and the world is spherical, is round, is spherical. So, if you keep going in this straight direction, if you keep going in this direction towards the west, on water, the next part of land you will get to will be India, because India is at the other end of the world. That was how they calculated it. So we must keep going this way, and as we keep going, the land we will get to will be India. And that was how many of them started thinking of, okay, how do we move? Then Christopher Columbus of Portugal, that was being sponsored by Spanish monarchs, sailed. After analyzing it to different people and telling them, I will be able to get to India through this way, through this way, through this way, just what I have explained. And they say, wow, that's a brilliant idea. Let us do it. So the king of Spain, or the monarch of Spain, chose to sponsor Christopher Columbus. And Christopher Columbus was able to sail and discovered America, the American continent. So, thinking that was India, he got there, killed many people, as they usually do, and was able to get few people in the American continent, and went back and gave reports, and everybody thought, oh, we have discovered India. So only for them to go there, go to the American continent. After moving for a while, they discovered that no, this is not India. This is actually a new continent being discovered by us. You must know it is not a new continent to the world. It was a new continent to Europe. Europe didn't know about the American continent. But before they got there were people there that had already discovered the continents, that had already discovered the lands, and have possessed it before the Europeans got there. But the Europeans didn't know about the lands, they didn't know about the people. So that was a new continent, not to the world, but to Europe, because some of these things must be put straight. Europeans didn't discover anything, they only discovered it to Europe. They didn't discover it to the world, because before they got there, people had already discovered it. So Christopher Columbus only discovered America to Europe, not to the rest of the world. So they now got to know that they are actually not in India. So, and when this was done, this was actually what made them to start moving all over the world. So in trying to get to India, that was how they started traveling, coming to Africa, trading, doing all sorts of trade, buying things from us, because America had been discovered. That was how they chose, because after they started using the Native Americans for slavery, they were enslaving them, using them in their farms, because they possessed vast areas of land and they had to develop it. They had to farm on it. So they didn't have all the manpower. They had to force manpower. You know, we talk about terrorism. Most of the history of Europe, you cannot separate terrorism from the history of Europe. Slavery was terrorism. They killed those people, used them for slaves, until they saw that the people were dying out, and they were like, somebody suggested, why don't you go to Africa instead and buy slaves? Because prior to that time, Africans had already been selling slaves to Arabs, or Arabs had already started the slave movement in Africa, because slavery started with Arabs that came, raided, conquering and raiding cities, towns, communities in Africa, and started having employing people, Africans, that will be raiding Africans just as they've been doing and selling to them. So Europeans learned from the Arabs and came to Africa and joined the Arabs in the business and started raiding, because they began with raiding and buying Africans after they have contracted some people that will be doing that work and continue the work of raiding and selling Africans. So they kept on doing that and developing their farms in the Americas until a particular Portuguese called Vasco da Gama in 1497, when he was age 37. He was 37 years old. when he was able to discover the roots. Because after they have scavenged Africa a lot and gone through many places, they have now been able to map Africa and know, okay, if Africa is this way, this is where Africa ends, this is where the America ends, then we should be able to have a route through the space between Africa and the Americas. And by that way, we will be able to go across and get to India. So he was given a crew of criminals and convicts. Vasco da Gama was given a crew of criminals and convicts because they were like, are you sure you will be able to do this? He said, yes, I can. I have found a way. I will be able to go to India. So they gave him people that are already condemned. If they die, if all of them die, if they don't hear from them anymore, then they are gone, they are dead, and they are gone. We actually lost nobody because these ones are already condemned. But if you succeed, glory be to God, we all enjoy. So Vasco da Gama had to discover the routes to India, and that was how India was discovered. And you can read up history to know how Vasco da Gama started relating in India, how he was able to establish trade in India. He was a smart man, I must say. At the end of the day, he was able to establish trade, and that was how the rest of Western Europe became free from Rome, and they established trade with India for Indian pepper. So, from this explanation, you will understand that Europeans didn't just wake up and say, oh, I want to travel the world. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to this. I want to go to that. Do not forget all these things that they did even after discovering India, the trade they've established in West Africa, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, all parts of Africa had to continue. All the businesses had to continue. They were making money, vast money from everywhere, buying slaves and developing the lands in the Americas after they have killed many Native Americans and taken over their lands, buying slaves and developing it. So Europe became very rich and very powerful. That was the beginning of the wealth of Europe. And they continued until many years before they decided that, oh, we have become very powerful, very rich, then we have to enslave the whole world. So, but that's not our topic today. Now, where does gas come into this play? Or how does gas come into this play? I will touch it a little before I open the lines. And maybe tomorrow, I'll continue and round up the place of gas and the relationship of gas in this world right now as it has to do with the relationship, its relationship with pepper. Now, gas as it is, oil and gas is the black gold. We all know, we all agree to that. But gas is so very, very important to the rest of Europe, to Western Europe. Gas is so important to Western Europe today because without gas, there will be no power supply in Europe. Without gas, they will have nothing to cook their foods. So, just as pepper was used as a spice agent for cooking, gas is also used for cooking. Just as pepper was being used as a medical agent and all of that, gas is used for power supply. which affects everything in Europe. Like as I've said sometime in the past, those of us in Africa, mostly those of us in the zoo, we can do without constant power supply because we are used to it. We're used to it. We can do without it. We can manage. But Europe cannot manage. If there is no power supply, no way to get power supply in Europe for 1 month, there may be no government in Europe anymore. Because
Bluetooth mode.
sorry for that break in transmission. I'm sorry, we must continue, we must proceed. We are back. We are back. Okay, so that's it. So, as I was saying, right now, gas is what is mostly sought after in Europe. Is more or less like the most important tool in Europe, the most important product, just as pepper used to be. Gas today is a black gold. And we must know that Europeans can do anything to have it, to have access to it, to have control of it. Europeans would do anything. And the war in Ukraine is very much connected to this. And Biafra is very rich in gas. Biafra is most likely richer in gas than we are in crude oil, because there are some places that have gas but don't have crude oil. In abundance, gas in abundance, but they don't have crude oil there. Some places in Biafra land that have gas in abundance that has not been touched, they don't have crude oil. But most places where there are crude oil, there are also gases. They're also gas. And that is why these people just flare our gas and pollute our environment. They flare our gas and pollute our environment. So Biafrans must understand that at this point in time, we are at a very critical time in this world whereby our land is very much sought after, because now that the West and Russia, who used to be like what India used to be to them, and they used to have this direct from Russia. Now Russia is beginning to change the game with the West, because they have felt that the West is not treating them well. So Russia is beginning to change the game, and that is what we are seeing with the Russia-Ukraine war. And Russia is beginning to change many things. Those living in Europe today can testify that things have become very expensive because gas is not gotten the way it used to be. Also, the rest of the Arab world that also have this gas, that have oil and gas as well, they also like the change that is going on with Russia. They like the change that Russia is doing, and they want to flow alongside. One of the major options left to the West is Biafra land. And that is why you see all these manipulations recently. They are doing all they can. And you must understand that this fight has been there, not just today, but it had been there even before the Russia-Ukraine war started. They have always known that it might get to this extent, because the West always wants a situation where they can control the markets. If they cannot control the market, if the market is not being monopolized by the West is not comfortable. So the market was being monopolized by the West with the idea of trading with dollar, because dollar is considered the new gold. While pepper was being bought with gold, today oil and gas is being bought with dollar. So dollar is the new gold, and dollar is controlled by the West. Dollar is Western money. Don't come and tell me, oh, it's America. America is West. America is West. America is an offshoot of Europe. There's no difference between Western Europe and America. America, Canada, they are all offshoots of Europe. So their policies are not different. They are the same. More or less, you can call it NATO. But I don't like looking at it from the positions of organizations. So dollar is the Western money, and dollar is the gold of today. The West made dollar the gold, and Russia have chosen otherwise. That because the West have defined gold to be dollar, that is why the West was able to monopolize the sale of their own products, which is gas, oil and gas. So instead, Russia have chosen to change the game. They have made their own gold to be their own currency. And the Arab world have chosen to do the same. Now, the West, their own, where they have interest in now, where they can control, is the zoo, because the zoo belongs to Britain. So they have resolved that, oh, they must fall back to the zoo and control the zoo. That is why now you are seeing manipulations upon manipulations. They had to kill a couple of soldiers just to blackmail IPOB and call them terrorist organization. Of course, UK have said that they have never called us terrorist organization, but we know that they have a hand under. Their hand is under the hand of the zoo that is on top, that is doing all these manipulations. Because the zoo is not as smart. We know those that are doing it. So, but that aside, that is where their interest is. Why? Because the owners of the property are being ruled by people that have no business with the property. Biafran properties, Biafran oil, Biafran gas is being decided by Fulani that knows nothing about Biafran land. And that is how they want it. Because those that have control over their land are making decisions for themselves. But one thing that Britain must know is that they have to tread carefully. Not just Britain, the rest of the West. Biafra as it is, we are friends of the West. We are not the enemies of the West. We are friends of the West. We are not against the West. We are not fighting against the West. We do not have any sides. We have not taken any sides with the war the West is fighting. With whether Russia, with China, with anybody. We don't have any side. We are taking no side, whether with the West or with the East or Eastern Europe, as the case may be. But what the West must understand is that you cannot trade our property with strangers that are killing us. You cannot trade with our property. You cannot trade our property with criminals and terrorists. We will not allow that. If you want Biafran oil to make your lives better in Europe, then you should be ready to discuss with Biafrans. We are reasonable people. Our oil is not our problem. We can do without it. What we want is our freedom. We do not want a situation where we can be in our houses and we've done nothing, and some people in uniform will just come and whisk us away in the night, in the middle of the night. All because Europe must get gas, must get oil at all costs. We don't want that. What we want is very simple, our freedom. Then we can discuss terms for the oil and gas. However you want it, we can discuss it. But you must give us our freedom. But if you do not, you cannot have it in peace. How can you come to a man's house A man that is not in peace, you're coming to his house to want to enjoy his wealth, and you're not offering him peace. How can you have peace with it? It is impossible. Yes, you're killing us. You will have to continue because we will not stop. And there's a level you will kill us. You will no longer be able to kill us. So my advice to the West is that they should think towards restoring Biafra and discussing terms and conditions with us. You know, in this life, everything is give and take. You must be ready to give something to take something. We want our freedom. You want oil and gas. We can discuss it. But you cannot go and be discussing with the dreaded Fulani that all they have been doing is to kill us and kill us and kill us, and you expect us to be quiet and be calm and be good boys. And you are so that you exterminate us and you have the Fulani to deal with alone. It's not going to happen. That one, of course, is never going to happen. Biafrans are not going to allow that to happen. So you better make up your mind and you choose either to do business with Biafra as free people, or you will not be able to enjoy this thing in peace, because the level at which this is going, if the zoo continue at this level that they are going, definitely they are going to get the whole of West Africa blown up. Because you cannot beat us to submission. That one is not going to happen. It's not possible. You cannot beat us to submission. So at the end of the day, by you assisting the zoo, pushing them, kill them. Let us discuss terms and conditions of this their oil and gas. Kill them. As you're pushing the zoo, kill them. And the zoo is telling you, oh, we will kill them more. You said, right on, my boys. At the end of the day, you will lose everything. Because you will have no control and you will not enjoy it. A time will come, you will not be able, because like what our leader said, there is a pattern to our madness. As we are now, some people are thinking, oh, the people have gotten mad, or the people are getting mad. Biafrans can be much worse. But we are very gentle people. We are very kind people. We are very open people. We are very simple people to understand and to deal with. We are not the difficult people. We are not bloodthirsty. We're not. We're not bloodthirsty people. We're not terrorists. Only the terrorists call us terrorists because we do not allow them to terrorize us. Because ESN was set up to stop terrorism in Biafra land, because the whole world kept quiet and the governors kept quiet. And the zoo security agents, instead of to defend us, they helped the Fulani terrorists to kill us, because the zoo security agents have all been infiltrated by the Fulani terrorists. So ESN is our only saving grace. ESN was never okay. Somebody said that the volume is very low on the radio. I am sorry about that, but we'll work on it. So ESN was never put together to combat the zoo. together to combat the zoo. ESN was established not to combat the zoo, but to combat terrorism in Biafra land. You want to exterminate ESN. That's all the zoo is interested in today. ESN. All they want is for ESN to go extinct. That's all the zoo wants. Go extinct. But it's not possible. They cannot succeed in doing that. It's obviously an impossible task. It's quite a challenge to get this volume properly increased on our radio. Some of these things are not very easy. Based on the challenges that we've been having technically, I had to change many things, and some of these things are new, so they are not responding properly. Some of them are very new, so they are not responding the way one would expect them to respond. So, but we must proceed. We must continue. So that is the case right now. So I will be opening the lines for people to call. I'll be opening the lines for people to call. And I don't think we will need to continue this topic. I think we've handled it enough. Tomorrow we'll deal with something else. Okay, that's it for today. So the lines are open. Most of you have the lines already, but I'm still going to announce the lines to call. The lines to call. You can call us on Skype. Skype, you just type Radio Biafra VOC. Just type Radio Biafra VOC on Skype. VOC in capital. Radio Biafra VOC. VOC is or should be in capital. So once you type Radio Biafra VOC, you can be able to get us on Skype. Then on Signal, the number to call is +45 7164 5962. That's the Signal number to call. +45 7164 5962. +45 7164 5962. Then the number to call on WhatsApp. The number to call on WhatsApp is +48. The WhatsApp number is +48 7396 +48. I repeat, I take it all over again because some people complain that I'm too fast about it. So the WhatsApp number is +48 7396 5102. +48 7396 5102. So that's the number to call on WhatsApp. If you call us through those numbers, you will be able to get us on WhatsApp. So the lines are open. The lines now are open and you can call in and give your contribution. Well, okay. Somebody said my voice is no longer coming out on the radio. Said my voice is no longer coming out on the radio. Okay, we're going to work that out. We'll work that out and try to see to it that at least the voice comes out once again. So the lines are open and you can give your contribution now. The lines are open and we can give our contribution.
AUX mode.
So those that want to call in can call in. Those that want to call in can call in now and give their contribution to the program. The lines are open. I believe my voice is coming out better now, though it seems to me like it's still low. Though I think it should be coming out better now. It should be clearer. So the lines are open. You can call and give your contribution. So the message is very clear. The message is very simple. The West should be careful with their dealings with us. The West should be careful with their dealings. The West should not continue to be, how do I put it? They should not continue to be a terror to Biafra. You know, when you see the United Nations being quiet, you see other Western news agencies being quiet about what is going on in Biafra land, being quiet about the genocide in Biafra, is because of the interest of the West. The West believe that their interest is safer with the zoo. But they are mistaken. Their interest is not safe with the zoo. Because the zoo is not in good relationship with the owners of the wealth. And that time where they used to go by the corner, bribe a few people to control the rest of the people, that time is over. You have been trying it. You have been bribing the governors. Have this movement stopped? No. You have been using politicians, promising them, oh, we will give you this position, we'll give you that position. Fight against Biafra. Fight against IPOB. Has it worked? No. You have done all you wanted to do. Bribe all the people you wanted to bribe. Has it worked? No, it hasn't. Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Can you hear me? Your name and where are you calling from? Okay, it seems this is not working properly. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me very well?
Good morning, Mazi.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for your analysis this morning. I still remain Mazi JP, calling from the United Kingdom. We are the people that are really in our enemy territory, those who are bringing us down. First of all, before I go ahead, I hope you are okay because it has taken a long time to not hear from you, Mazi. But all this being equal, we have come back and we are very, very happy that we can hear your voice again. To God be the glory. I will continue to move forward. Your topic really is very, very simple. The interest of the West is what we are suffering. The interest of the West is what we are suffering. They are using our own resources. They are using our human resources and our natural resources as a sort of a collateral. So what are you expecting? What are you expecting? Just like what they said. What is that they can give them and we cannot give it to them? How can somebody just come from nowhere and continue to control something that is that their backyard? But I don't blame them too much. I blame our people. I blame those who call themselves leaders. I am not saying even leaders. How can somebody be wicked to his people? They cannot stand their ground. They have had, most of them are school, most of them are learned, most of them are educated. They have gone many places and see how things are being done. But their idea trying just like this man that just died now. They call out austerity. These are people who kept us aback. These are people who order us. They continue to emasculate their people. I don't even want to talk about it. So this is the people they want to listen to, but they are not doing it. But man, what am I telling you? Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have told us that we must continue to face them head on. Even if it's only one person that remains, Biafra must be restored. The only interest is that sources that are at our backyard. That's why they kept mute. A lot of mutiny, a lot of people have been killed, a lot of things that have been done. Heinous crimes have been committed. Just like last week now, you heard what happened that this man just secretly just came to that zoo country and went to Meduguri and was intermingled with the Janjaweed and was intermingled with the murderous people who I don't know where they came from. Somebody who is just a foreigner is whom you are begging. Somebody who is just a foreigner is whom you are begging to give you something. Somebody came to your place that is supposed to be the landlord, and now they are the landlord. They dictate what you can do. You are there telling them, please give us presidency. Power is taken, not given. Who is giving you presidency? No, everything. Who is giving you presidency? Instead of them to support their people, support the people of Biafra under the command of, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and HOD and DNS, to fight for the of countries have emerged, very minute countries, even here in Europe, we know that most of these countries are very, very minute. They are not even up to, some of them are not even up to 1 million. But they are standing on the ground now. You are standing on the ground now. What are you expecting when Chibika Mechi and Yeso Wike and the useless man that called himself who opposed that said that we cannot live? Look at what is happening everywhere. Everywhere is in a class condition. The people who just stand and say that they are our leaders. They are not our leaders. Nobody voted them. Nobody, I don't even know them. I don't even know them. What I'm saying is that the Lord Jehovah Sabaoth, whom we serve, have called our leader, and He still continues to perfect him. That's why I like the Chukwu Gadiama. Whenever he said to Fanera, he must make sure that that message is being accomplished. He must perfect you. Even these people, for you to know how desperate they are come with python dust. Our leader will survive the python dust. They have started killing him all the way from Kenya. They could not do anything. All of a sudden, they are using him as a trade barber, and the security renditioned him back to that useless country. And what is still happening now? We are still voting him because of 2023 election. They have done him a lot of things, unprintable evil that is unconscious, that is unheartful. They have done a lot of things, but this man still stands his ground and still living, and they will not know that this man, and they will not know. They are not even.
Hello, Mazi.
I think I said, who is this very man? Before I saw somebody who is in the tie. I thought the person is a gentleman. I thought that all of them are wolves in extreme clothing.
Okay, sorry.
But we are going to move ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, you have 1 minute. Hello.
To pray and continue to commit our Eastern Security Network, to commit our leadership, that we must continue to stand our ground to make sure that the Biafra Restoration Project is accomplished to the glory of the Most High God. Just like the South African people are now free. The South African people, we are here living here, are now free. South Sudan is free. Our leader said that South Sudan fought for more than 30 years, and today they are free. The very day he said this letter, my mind, it was just a sort of a heartbroken. I was very, very mad. I said, this man is a very intelligent man. But only 3 years, we just, that we rush as if we are the people who are in prison, that when they, just like their distance was opened, and of them fled. Or we started the mingling. We started mingling with our enemies. Look at what happened now. But what I know, the Bible says, since I was born, now I'm getting old. I've never seen the Lord change it, or the children of God begging for bread. Whatever they're doing, this is the end. This is the last battle. I know divinely we're going to win this battle, because we say that.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Because of our time.
So thank you, Mazi. Yeah. Because all the faithful ones who are still in the.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes. Africa, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you very, very well.
Okay, yes, sir. Africa, the voice of the last caller wasn't coming out very well. After you took it, sir. May the peace of Chukwu Kikabiam, the God of heaven and earth, continue to guide you. You will see our fatherland. Very comfortable. Let's continue doing our work. We have friends all over the world. We don't go to Kikabiam at the Railway. China and I think I have a different mother. Let us teach you from there the shaker. Pepe and the gas. Now,
They deceived our ancestors and they enslaved us. This is where we are now. We feel it our land, we must get to back. No going back. No going back. Finally, and when you must release our leader, let them not be let them prepare. And they must pay for damages. We are not talking here. The world is under law. And we Biafran, we are under law to worship our God. And the word of our God is under law. We are following the law. Wow, are we not disciplined? We are disciplined and we are privileged before the whole world. And they are saying, let's pretend to come here to shit us down again. Then by the time we understand that this generation of Biafra, we have recorded what they did our ancestors. And we must pay them back. No second. Somebody can bring somebody. Then I think it according to Genesis chapter 36. Genesis chapter 36 from verse 1 to end. Then Fulani have their own descendants. We are France. We are on our own, and this is our land. And Fulani, their own land, they abandoned it to come here to kill us. We are there. We are there. They're not there. You have deadly weapons beside the law. They're all for them. How do you to select us to the election? Numbers chapter 5 and the same number chapter 6 from verse 1 to end. Then I put Numbers chapter 6, now verse 27 here. If you pronounce my name upon my people, I will bless them. I am not broken. Why must another person take the glory of the most? That person, nobody can do that. Then Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1 to end. And the same Deuteronomy chapter 5, from verse 1 to end. I will be done to take it over and follow. One more. And I shall find that time. Let us get there. Let them not be a let them not be a Apalaka. We have our hand. If they shoot a bullet, he shoot a bullet. Dara. Okay, waiting upon us, 16 and 18. I got a call for you. But for you to say before, the side I got to be able. You will take the phone and let's say that you are to go to Kaplan. See me, take it to me there. And the thing that there's the Biafra. Emerald, I'm go. They look at more than I'm Nagana. Tapuba. Now, like that. No blue coy, I don't have a baby yet. Over the Tra. Over the Tra. Okora Budo, and the Patrana. Who were? When the Patanella, put that. The seven. When you forget about who is in charge. Okay, more than a Paula. 16 and 18. I have one at the Dapata. I like you to you. Method. No. Now, yeah. Oje. Let me tell you, Africa have become robust part. Oh, yeah, Biafra.
Biafra will heal thee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We kind of have some challenges. I will not take more calls so that I don't. I'll not take more calls so that I do not get some people to have challenges talking. Okay, so we are going to call it a day for today, and I want to thank each and everyone that is listening. Tomorrow we will continue, and we are going to get things better and stronger. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. God bless you.